San Diego Comic-Con 2022 is coming up. Any thoughts on any kind of predictions or anything that you think we might see going into SDCC?
Okay, so let's start with the obvious. We do a lot of Marvel here, so spoiler alert, I guess, if you still haven't seen. But based off the ending of Ms. Marvel, I do believe finally we will be talking about mutants. It's gonna be interesting though, because if Kamala Khan is the first confirmed, which I mean I don't. It's weird that that's a question. How obvious can they be? But I think the general consensus around review channels has been like, oh well, is it or is she? That just goes to show you how like wildly inconsistent some of this stuff has been this phase. I digress. I think she's a mutant. I think that's what they're trying to tell us. I think they were pretty dead on.
I mean, they're coming out with X-Men 97, which is a continuation of the animated show.
Animated series. Yeah.
That's 2023?
I'm excited for that because, well, then again, I don't know. It's Disney, so there was Fox that was running that thing before, and Fox is a lot more liberal with their use of the characters and different story arcs that they're willing to do.
But they do have the same people who were working on the original cartoon working on this one.
Same team, different boss.
Yeah.
Everything's different at the House of Mouse.
For sure.
I'm wondering who the first projects will be. I feel like they could accomplish more with series leading into a movie. But man, I have MCU TV show fatigue already because they just haven't wowed me. I was expecting them to hit the TV market and be the best thing on television, and that has not come to fruition. And then when you think about it, all right, because we'll talk a little bit about some other studios and what they may be bringing, but you got Amazon. Their Lord of the Rings thing. Obviously, DC is going to be heavy into Black Adam and
probably not the Flash.
I don't know what the fuck. What are they
probably
even
not the Flash.
Say?
Unless they are getting rid of Ezra Miller, which they probably wouldn't announce that.
Well, we'll get to WB and DC in a minute. But they obviously have Black Adam, and then maybe we'll be getting some news on where we're going in terms of Superman. For the mutants, I would say TV shows first, because it does gives the allotted time to explain what mutants are going to be in the MCU. I don't think they're going to, because they haven't depended on it very much anywhere in Marvel. They're very over-explanatory, but I don't think they're going to depend on prior knowledge of X-Men or mutants a whole lot. I think there's going to be a lot of retconning, even though there's just so much content out there.
Yeah.
I don't believe they're going to rely heavily on prior Marvel mutant history. I don't think.
Marvel movie mutant history.
Yeah, now they could turn everything on their heads and be like James McAvoy, Michael Fassbender, Magneto, and Xavier in the MCU. I would be completely fine with that. Those two pieces are probably the only two things that I would need to pull over from the Fox universe. Hugh Jackman, if you want, if you're available. Other than that, that's pretty much it.
It would be shocking if they went with Hugh Jackman as Logan again.
I don't think they will. Well, first of all, they definitely already missed the boat, I think, with the whole. Well, they still got Battle World and Secret Wars. But I think they missed the boat on the whole Hugh Jackman coming out. Like, Multiverse of Madness was the perfect time for that, if it was going to happen. Hugh Jackman is only getting older, and he already told you, like, 5-6 years ago that he doesn't want to work out anymore. And now he's only been making goddamn musicals and contemporary dramas. So I think he's done with the whole workout warrior thing.
I can see him being a variant Logan, but not like the guy.
I don't think that's gonna be a thing anymore, man. Well, you think he's gonna be a variant in Loki?
No.
I think we had Well, sure. I mean, we could be honest about it. At least us personally had big and a high anticipation level for what variants would mean in the MCU, and it's been very so far. So far, we'll have a big variant in Kang the Conqueror, Jonathan Majors, when he pops into Ant-Man. But I mean, we haven't been seeing a whole bunch of alternate versions of people popping up. It's been very
chill on that.
Very subdued. Yeah, very subdued. Even on the alternate timeline thing with Loki, I don't see that popping back up until we see a second season of that show. At least for now, right? We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, TV shows first. If I had to pick some characters I'd like to start out with, hey man, I gotta some classics have to stick. I need a Wolverine. Be very careful about how you cast this guy. Storm, I think, is another prime target, but then Jesus, if any of these plot leaks are true, woo, my goodness. I don't know if I want them to start out with Scott and Jean so early. Especially if you're already going to have a Wolverine in a Storm.
How do you think they're going to bring it in then?
If I had to guess, I'd say late teens going into college age actors. Something that can maybe cross over with Spider-Man, the whole, New Avengers initiative that they got going on, Kate Bishop, Kamala Khan. The younger brand of hero in the MCU right now. Mm-hmm. I think they'll probably attach Mutants to that wave as opposed to the legacy Marvel titles so that it has a chance to grow. It won't be seamless though. And that's the biggest hangover with getting the titles back from Fox so late. It's just that how do you make this work? Like, how do you tell some of these stories that happen in between X-Men and the Avengers, or X-Men and the Eternals, or anything like that? X-Men, Fantastic Four, without some of the biggest pieces of that puzzle being there. And that's another thing. Outside of Mutants, it'll be Fantastic Four. Did they actually get it done the way that they say? Oh no, we listen to the fans. Did they get it done and get John Krasinski as the Mr. Fantastic in the main Marvel universe?
I've heard rumors that they've got Penn Badgley, the guy who plays Joe and You, potentially.
Oh.
I've seen that, but then obviously Krasinski. I feel like I've seen somebody else too, but that's like the main one that I've seen outside of Krasinski.
Yeah. I will say that if it's not Krasinski, then I will look at Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. At least Krasinski's role in it a little differently.
Yeah.
I'll look at it a little differently because that is your acknowledgement of what this is what the fans really wanted. So here you go. Here's your 10 minutes.
Yeah, one-off cameo.
Not even that, yeah, because they were done away with so quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Here's your 7.5 minutes of glory, John.
Yeah.
Back to the office you go.
Be a little wild.
I don't know. I what I do not want them to do is race swap it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Please. Please. I want to see more black people in the MCU. I think that goes without saying. I think everybody knows that by now. I don't want to see them continuously put in the line of fire for that to be accomplished, and I also don't want for there to be representation for us to have to continuously take over white characters' mantles. That's not a trend that I would like to see continue. At a certain point in time in my film watching history, that was something that was probably needed because we were so devoid of anything that looked like us. Something like that had to be done. We're not exactly there anymore. Now I feel like the focus should be shifted to elevation of content, not just quantity of black faces.
Makes sense. So no more Michael B. Jordan and Fan Forstick?
No. Or Michael Michael. John David Washington, as much as I like him as an actor, I'm okay. I would like to see Krasinski at least, if not Krasinski and Blunt. But she hasn't, at least the reports are saying she hasn't been really too excited about doing anything like that. So, But then she made Jungle Cruise. So.
Who would you want to see play Logan as well? I've seen the guy who played Elton John.
Edgerton. Yeah. Edgerton. Yeah. I like him. I actually don't mind the kid from Stranger Things, the brother that died, Billy. Right. A lot of people are casting him as the next Human Torch.
Okay.
If you can get over the piercing blue eye thing, which I mean that's easy, contacts, right? A little bit more hair, he would be an excellent Wolverine. I think he'd be an excellent Wolverine. I'm not sure how tall he is, so that could be a deal breaker for me. He's always standing next to the little ass kids, so you know what I mean.
Yeah. I
can't tell particularly. If he's about 5'8", 5'9", we can make that work. Anything over that, it'll look a little crazy. But what about Adam Brashear? So we got the Marvels coming up in 2023. Right, so obviously that'll be one of the movies that they talk about. What about Adam Brashear?
Blue Marvel?
A movie called The Marvels that will feature Monica Rambeau, longtime love interest of Adam Brashear. Will we see Blue Marvel introduced at San Diego Comic-Con? It would be a very advantageous time for them to do so, considering on what we could potentially get from, the children that they've let run amok.
Yeah.
Teachers out, substitutes sleep. They just doing shit over there.
Basically.
They just doing shit.
Basically.
But yeah, Adam Brashear, maybe. Marvels, hopefully, please.
Who would be cast for that?
All right, so if they're going to put him in this movie, I feel like that's going to be modern day. It's going to be a retcon version of Adam Brashear. It's not going to be his original story. Adam Brashear was originally, the first superhero in America. He fought for America until in battle they found out somehow that he was black. John F. Kennedy ends up asking him to retire and go away because America's not ready for a black superhero. He does so. One of his longtime enemies ends up coming back. He ends up coming out of retirement to fight him, so what and so on. Very powerful matter manipulation, I believe, is his power set. Upper level intellect, highest in the MCU, up there with Reed Richards, T'Challa, some of the greatest minds in the Marvel Universe. He does have a long relationship with Monica Rambeau as Spectrum. So yeah, I would love to see that introduced. If they make it to where he's the same age as Monica Rambeau. You watch Euphoria?
I've seen.
You seen it? You know who the character Ali is?
No.
That's my pick.
That's your pick?
That's my pick. Has to be physically imposing, but also has to be a very good actor because he has to balance that visceralness of a an imposing guy, but also he's like one of the 5 most intelligent people on the planet. So an accomplished actor who can also, stand to put some weight on his frame.
Coleman Domingo.
I could see that. Now, if they take the original route, the original version, and we do an old man Adam Brashear from the 60s, Will Smith. Do it. Do it. Just do it. That's not gonna happen.
No,
that's not gonna happen. Maybe 7 or 8 months ago that could have been a possibility.
Yeah, and they would definitely have to retcon him because how would his story not play in
a film?
Falcon playing Captain America.
Nothing makes sense. So don't worry about storytelling.
Yeah,
that's not what they're doing over there.
Doesn't seem to be on the forefront of their minds.
Let's talk about some other studios though. So WB, DC, right?
Yeah.
They've got Black Adam coming out.
Mm-hmm.
So I would expect Dwayne and Aldis maybe to be there, pop up.
You don't think there would be any other teasers or anything like that?
I don't think they're far enough into Coates' Superman for anything like that. They may show you a concept. They may announce it if it's still happening, because I've heard his first couple of ideas have gotten shot down. Surprise, surprise. Are they going to talk about the Flash at all? Do they acknowledge it at all, or do they just avoid it like the plague?
I feel like it's popular enough for them to almost have to say something about it, but at the same time, there's just so much negative press around it.
Yeah, there's zero shot that they bring out a panel for the Flash without Ezra Miller and they don't ask about it.
Ezra Miller is still in hiding, is he not?
Yeah, like, fam, come on. So they better either prepare what they plan. They either better prepare to unveil what they plan to do with the Flash going forward at Comic-Con, or they avoid it altogether and don't even send the rest of the cast out there to promote the movie and just chalk it up. Because, number one, if you don't do anything to promote the movie here at Comic-Con, it's almost destined to fail. Yeah. You're not going to have a movie that's supposed to mean that much to your slate going forward, to your greater universe, and not promoted at something like Comic-Con.
Yeah.
So if they don't, then they're pretty much admitting it anyways, that it's going to fail, and that they just rather not deal with the negative publicity until it fails.
But so even that sends a statement in and of itself. Like, we're distancing ourselves.
We're waving the white flag. So at that point, why not just get out in front of it and own it? Finally.
Yeah.
And say something. Everybody in the room is asking the same damn question. They're barely going to be listening to you about Wonder Woman 3 before someone shouts out, "What about the Flashpoint? What's going on with Flash? Am I still going to be able to see my Keaton Batman?"
Yikes.
Like, they got to say something. You got to.
Yeah.
Because I feel like avoiding it already says what it is you would have been saying anyways.
Yeah.
Give us your thoughts on SDCC this year. What are your predictions? What do you expect to see? All studios, Marvel, Warner Brothers, DC, Amazon, Universal. What are some of your most anticipated films of 2023? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe.
And make sure you check out our other videos on Marvel News. And obviously, make sure you subscribe. We like to talk about Marvel quite a bit.